My name's Colin Schmidt. I'm the Executive Director of America Scores Bay Area. This is going to be my 20th year with the organization. And really excited about where we are, the number of schools, the number of poet athletes that we're working with. Obviously it's an unprecedented time, and we're going to talk about that, but I just want you to know that we are excited, that we're relevant, and that we're ready to grow. So I'll tell you what's going to happen today. I want to just thank a few people for sure. I want to thank our MuleSoft group. I want to thank Emily and Mark in particular for rallying all the muleys out there. This is a fantastic partnership that's evolving with MuleSoft, now a Salesforce company, and America Scores, and trying to build our capacity and have meaningful volunteer engagement, throughout the calendar year. So I really want to thank those folks. We have people who have donated to the program on the call, some of our great foundation partners, individuals who have donated. I know we have some board members out there who spend countless hours volunteering their time, providing strategic direction. So we thought this was going to be a little small, intimate affair, a little coffee shop with some poetry, but we got, we could have 100 people before this is done. So it's turning into, kind of a really fun gathering. What America Scores is, right? We're about joy, we're about hope, we're a lot about teamwork, and we're a lot about impact and results. We, as I mentioned, are currently working with about 2,000 students in the Bay Area, almost 75 public school partners. Students are 1st through 8th grade. We have a growing alumni program as well. And, up until about mid-March, almost 4 months ago, we were in person. We were in the schools, in the classrooms, doing our writing program, in the playgrounds, doing our soccer program, having our game days, our community game days with the families once a week. And then everything went upside down. Everybody knows that story, right? So if we went from that 3, 5, 6 days a week in person with our coach mentors and our teams into the virtual reality. And what we're really really proud to share with you today is how we responded to that. So you're going to get a sneak preview of our new kind of e-learning platform, Scores U. Then you're going to get to meet some of our amazing coaches and staff. We're going to break into 2 breakout rooms, and you'll have a chance to ask some more questions and meet 2 outstanding poet athlete laureates, Izzy and April, and they're going to share some poetry with you. Then when we come back from the breakout rooms, our Chief Program Officer, Yuri Morales, is just going to tell you a little bit about our theory of action and our commitment to learning and evaluation. And we'll wrap it up with some Q&As if time permits at the end. And again, so throughout this presentation, please use the chat function, use the Q&A. We will get to it in real time, or we'll just, we'll stack them up and get back to you if we run out of time. So again, really excited for all you to be here, for the impact that we're making in this unprecedented time with COVID, right? We start, when we have our game days, we start with a cheer with all of our teams and our coaches. And it's, it says commitment, I'm always there, teamwork because we care. And when school shut down, when the game shut down, the first message we wanted to send to all of our poet athletes is we are there. We're not going to leave you. We will be there, and we care. And again, what you're going to learn now is how we kept that connectivity and turned it into enrichment programming. So that's it for me for a minute. I will see you coming and going here a little bit, but I'm going to turn it over to Kevin, who's going to tell you just a little bit about our Scores U platform before we break into the breakout groups. Kevin.
Thank you very much, Colin. Thanks for that overview. Hello, everybody. My name is Kevin, and I have been a Scores program coordinator for 3 years now, going into the 4th one. Started off in San Rafael and just recently transferred over to Oakland, where I'm managing 7 awesome teams. So yeah, like just like Colin said, mid-March, we knew it was going to be very difficult for our poet athletes to stay active, to stay creative, to stay strong during the shelter-in-place order. So that's when we decided to launch Scores U. And Scores U is basically an online platform where our players can hop on this page and still do what they do every day. By doing a soccer adventure and a poetry quest. And these soccer challenges that I'm talking about and the poetry lessons, we came up with these by just sharing our ideas, using our experience, looking into the curriculum, seeing what worked and what didn't work. And after that, we piled up a lot of activities. And yeah, let me just show you the Scores U page. We'll get right into it. Can everybody see my screen? Perfect. Okay, so this is our home page right here. When a poet athlete comes in, they have the opportunity to explore the poetry side or the soccer side. Let's see how the soccer side looks like. As a Scores U player, you can translate this whole page into Spanish. As you keep scrolling down, you get to see all of our soccer missions. Shout out to Ev because she came up with the idea of putting some GIFs on this, a little more interacting. As you keep scrolling, we have our TikTok on here too with more challenges. This is very popular. And then we have a little glimpse of our Instagram page. This is where we shine the light on our Scores family. And at the very bottom, there's a picture of this sock ball. Some of our players don't have soccer balls. So if you click this picture, it takes you to a video where a Scores coach shows you how to make a ball out of socks. So let's see how a mission looks like. Let's click on soccer mission number 5. So this type form is really user-friendly. There's usually one button to click, and let's check out this GIF. This GIF is so awesome. This little guy is using a size 5 ball. So yes, as you go down this type form, you can, if you're on your phone, you can swipe up and down. And then if you're on a computer, you just use these arrows on the right bottom corner right here. You can type in your name if you want to get credit. This is optional. As you keep going down, it asks you more questions. Let's say this player had a ball. This is the family soccer challenge for mission 5. We're going to watch this for about 10 seconds. Could you be the one to call when I lose control? And they keep going with a couple more footwork drills. And then they get to see a player that accepted the challenge and did this with her mom. And she keeps going with a couple more challenges. And this really encourages the players that are going through this type form, this challenge, to also participate as well. And there's a couple more questions at the end. And then once you submit it, you get points. You get 5 points for making a soccer adventure. And now let's look into the poetry side. I hope you guys can all still see my screen here. So as a Scores U poet, again, same couple features. You can translate this into Spanish. Here's our poetry quest. We have about 8. And yeah, kind of the same thing, what you saw on the last page. So let's go into one of these quests. Again, very similar, same type form, just more instructional text, I would say. But the great thing about a quest and this mission specifically, we had one of our coaches actually that is here, shouts out Coach Amber, that explains all of these texts into more detail. We can see a little bit of this.
What's up, everybody? It's Coach Amber with America's Scores Bay Area, and today we're going to write a special poem about our names. To get started, we want to get our brain juices working up and start brainstorming. So first of all, we're going to...
If I let her keep going, I'm probably going to start writing some poetry. So I'm gonna stop there. And so that's both of our pages for poetry and soccer adventure. And if you submit a poem, you get 10 points. And all of these points, we notice that it really incentivizes the poet athletes because they love racking up points. And we have a leaderboard where we keep track of these points. They get to see how many points they have individually and as a team. And as of right now, actually, we're delivering prizes. And this is the fun part because we're delivering a Scores U logo mask, and we're also delivering the Scores U t-shirts. So they're really pumped about that for the folks, for the players that had the most participation. So that's Scores U. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, can you guys see me now? Get back in my shade over here. Thanks, Kevin. That's a great introduction. So ScoresU, Typeform, web-based platform is part of it. When you get into the breakout rooms, you'll see again some of the other technology that we're using, synchronous, asynchronous, Zoom, WhatsApp, things like that. You'll have a chance to do some Q&A with our coaches, and you'll get to see our poet athletes perform. So we're going to move on into that department, and again, when we come back out, we'll have some more time for Q&A. And Yuri Morales, our Chief Program Officer.
Hi everyone, my name is Amber Bugarin Astillero, and I'm going into my third year with working for Scores. I am a program coordinator, and I work in San Francisco and Oakland. I work at many different schools, both in charge of co-ed teams and all girls teams from third grade to fifth grade, which is our select, and also for our club team for IFC. I also coach high school girls. I have a lot of different roles in Scores, and I love it a lot. My kids call me Coach Amber, Miss Coach Amber, or Coach Ams, but you can just call me Amber. I'm going to be talking today about how we've been connecting with the students through our multiple platforms. And I have a PowerPoint that I can present to you too. I'm just going to share my screen really quick. And here we go. So today I'm going to be talking about how we've been maintaining our distance coaching and empowering our students virtually online. The pandemic was just, we took action immediately, and that meant reaching out to a lot of different families, connecting and collaborating with each other many times during the week, and figuring out how we can stay connected with our students. And that meant going to Zoom and all of our online platforms. The three platforms I'm going to be talking about are our WhatsApp, Zoom, and social media platforms. The WhatsApp was basically our group chat with the students, and to get to this point, we basically tried to get all of our information from our registration forms together to figure out what was the best number to call. Even if some phone numbers the parents didn't answer, we called the emergency number. So it definitely was a lot of work on our coaches' parts, and I just want to give them a huge shout out for all of the patience they had to connect with our students. Once we were able to find out the best way to communicate with them and to contact them, we added that number to a group chat, and in the WhatsApp group chats, this is where we made our important announcements. And we also created challenges for them to continue to see what they were doing, to see how they were doing, to make sure that they were staying active while at home. And so it was our check-ins, and also this is where we would put our Zoom links. Zoom was basically our class time, and we used a lot of that time working on soccer or poetry, fun games that creatively we came up with and are actually super fun that we do in our adult check-ins. But yeah, Zoom was pretty awesome this spring season, especially because we had our scoresu.org page already up and running. And me personally, as a coach, I used a lot of the soccer adventure lessons and the poetry quest lessons for the guide with whatever I was going to teach that day. The third platform is our social media platform. We had TikTok, which is very new, and it's mainly for the students because TikTok is just such, it did just come into 2020, and it's very popular and trending, and kids are really creative with it. We've created a couple of different TikToks where they can duet, and they can follow along with it. So that's been really fun. And we also have our Instagram page, which is more adult based because it has our family's parents on there, and it also has our donors and partnerships so that we can continue to see what the other people are doing, and to like update them with what our students have been doing and our coaches have been doing at home. It basically keeps our whole community updated with everything and connected. We share our students' works, and we also sometimes would share the TikTok challenges on Instagram, and vice versa. So those have been very fun because it's definitely more creative, and we can be a little bit more expressive with it because TikTok and Instagram just have so many different ways to approach sharing what you're doing. For my next slide, I actually have some content that I can share. I hope this brings a lot of smiles to your faces. This picture is actually a screenshot of my Zoom class with my students from J. Sarah, my boys team. As you can see, we have some of us had soccer balls, which was great because I do know that a challenge was that not all of the kids have soccer balls. But yeah, this is just a little sneak peek into what a normal class day would look like for us. So I'm going to exit out of here really quick, if I can figure it out. And I'm going to move on to the content that we have. And I'm going to share my screen over here. So in our WhatsApps, how I said that we created challenges for our students to do at home, this is an example of one that we had from a student in Oakland. Her name is Catherine. And the challenge was basically to dribble a ball in between two objects at home. Here you can see that she's using two gardening pots, and that was really creative. So this is an example of a challenge that we might have sent out to the students. She's just doing dribbling in her backyard. So she did a really good job with this video, and that was one of the challenges. Another challenge that we had was doing toe taps in a minute and seeing how many you can get. This video is of a student named Sophia from San Rafael, and her charisma is so great in this video. We've talked about how she could possibly become a future scores coach.
My name is Sophia, and I am in third grade, and today I'm going to be doing shoe tapping or ball tapping, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, let's do it. So first we're going to put your ball there. Oh my god, just this one. And get your foot and just start tapping. So yeah, that's how we do it.
As you can tell, she definitely did this at home, and that's where our students have been practicing, wherever space they can find, in the living room, in their kitchen. Luckily, sometimes if they have a backyard. So that was a really good example of how our kids were staying fit at home. For TikTok, this is just an example video of a challenge that we had from Coach Ev. So I'll just show this to you. One hand, two hands, hit your rollie, do your dance, now lean with it, rock with it, lean with it, rock with it. As you can see, Cynthia was duetting the challenge. It was like a fitness challenge, so we do soccer and other fitness types of exercises for our challenges that are really fun and engaging. And lastly, just so that you can have the point of view of a parent, this is a video of a parent from my J. Sarah class. And he talks about what he's appreciated from our program.
Hello, everyone. My name is Winston Mendoza. My son's name is Winston Mendoza as well. He's a student at J. Sarah, the third grade. I just would like to say thank you to Miss Amber for participating with Jay in the class and keeping him entertained. I call him Jay. His name is Winston. But he learned a lot. He kept himself active. He really liked the activities that they went over. One class in particular that I enjoyed was one where he showed what his talent was. He was really excited about that. And all summer long, he was practicing on a magic trick, so he was able to share it with his classmates. Besides that, the activities were fantastic. During these times, it's difficult for kids to really stay distracted and active. So we appreciate Miss Amber for that, and the Zoom classes that she held in the Scores program. So thank you very much, and hello to everybody and all the students out there.
So that was just one example of a parent whose student was just an amazing student, because they were a lot of my students have been very willing to try these new virtual practices, and it's just kind of made us a lot closer, like we've gone through this pandemic together virtually. Some of the challenges, because there definitely were challenges, even though we've had a lot of success, challenges have been students might not have access to a phone or a laptop, or they might not have very good internet to participate in our practices. Sometimes they don't have a phone because their parents are working and they might be staying with a relative that doesn't really use a smartphone. Like I said, other reasons would be they don't have a laptop or they don't have very good internet access. So when they do try to participate, it kind of just cuts in and out, and it's really difficult for them to stay engaged and they can't really hear what we're saying. Another challenge would be engagement, because it is a lot of time to be looking at a screen and following somebody that's not exactly physically right there in front of you. So coaches have had to get really creative with games and treat it just like a practice that we normally would have on the field, by starting off with an opening circle and a question to start getting them pumped and ready to be mentally present in class, and some other games for practice time. But it has been such a rewarding experience, even though it has been challenging. Another challenge would be the space. Some students don't have a lot of space, or they live in a apartment building where there's people next to them or below them, so they can't bounce up and down. They can't make a lot of noise. They're sometimes restricted to the movement that they're physically able to do, because it is a small space. Sometimes they don't even have a soccer ball. So we had to teach them how to make a soccer ball out of socks. But I love working with Scores because we figure out how to make it work, at least with the students that we have been able to connect with. Thank you.
What is your first and last name?
My name is Isabelle Tam.
What grade are you in?
I am in 5th grade.
What city are you representing?
I am representing the city of San Francisco.
Other than poetry and soccer, what do you do for fun?
What I do for fun is coding.
What are some of your favorite music?
Some of my favorite music is K-pop.
How did you start writing poetry?
I started writing poetry when I joined Scores.
What inspires your writing? What do you like to write about?
What inspires my writing is my imagination. I like to write down my imagination on a piece of paper.
Who inspires your writing, and how does that person help you?
The person who inspires my writing is Grace Lynn. She makes books, and I like to read them, but I want to also be like her.
Tell me how you felt when you made the finals.
When I made it to the finals, I felt really happy.
What is the poem you'll be performing about?
The poem that I will be performing about is my experiences with me traveling with my family.
How have you been practicing and staying connected to your coach since school had been out?
I have been practicing by saying my poem out loud and sending text messages to my coach.
What have you been doing with no school?
What I have been doing with no school is doing my online homework and practicing my poem.
Are you worried about the virus?
No, I am not worried about the virus, because I know that I will be safe and happy at home.
How do you feel about the trip to DC being postponed?
I feel fine about the trip to DC being postponed. After all, I want to be safe and healthy.
Are you looking forward to going back to school?
Yes, I am looking forward to go back to school so that I can see my friends.
What do you want people to know about you?
What I want people to know about me is that in the future I will be a famous author and illustrator.
Thank you, Isabelle.
Hi, my name is Isabelle Tam, and I am representing the city of San Francisco, and the title of my poem is Gallivanter's Glory. I am from foggy red bridges, cold summers, and freezing waves, where culture meets tradition. Home is where the heart is, and my heart is in the unknown. I hunger for foreign waters and different time zones. I have tiny, tired traveler's feet. My feet has traveled around the world for 10 years, gallivanting across the globe. When I travel, it feels like I'm at home, warm, happy, cozy, and comfy. Although my feet get tired, I never give up on my journey. I'm like Rosa Parks, fighting to make a change. Giving up is not an option. Like Malala Yousafzai, going to school illegally, then being the youngest person to win a Nobel Peace Prize. Like Junko Tabei, considered a frail, weak child, but was the first woman to climb to the top of Mount Everest. When I'm done walking at the end of the day, it feels like I climbed to the top of Mount Everest to mark my flag. I feel proud and complete. I have tiny, tired traveler's feet. I've walked through stone pavements and shadowed alleys, colorful markets and busy malls, famous buildings and eerie monuments. I've learned about the lost and the found, the wounded and the brave, the wise and the scared. There were times when my feet would ache. Stop. It's time to rest. But my mind did not stop. We have to keep exploring. So I walked, I walked, I walked, and I walked. I have tiny, tired traveler's feet, but I will never give up. I am from international airports and passport stamps. Wanderlust is my name and gallivanting is my game. No matter where I am, I have to keep going. Let age not stop you from curiosity, but open the door to more. I have tiny, tired traveler's feet, and I'm ready to explore.
My name is April Barrios Escobar. I'm in the 4th grade, and I'm representing E.R. Taylor. And the title of my poem is A Poem for Mia. My life is filled with your smiles. I love it, and I can't see it from a mile. I feel your heart pounding next to mine. I see your eyes wide and bright. You are an everlasting light. You bring us all fun and joy. My days are slow. When you're not here, I really wish that you were near. But when we go on adventures, you sit in my lap. And we try very hard not to take a nap. I love you, Mia, my little sis. Thank you.
So again, I'm hoping people just get kind of a sense, of the combination of activities and the way that we've been using technology to stay connected with kids. I mean, COVID, social distancing is one issue. Of course, the other big issue is really, around the social justice issues, racism, some heavy issues, right, around all of it, police, white privilege. So these are unprecedented times, tough times, and again, we value being connected with each other, having those coach mentors to help navigate, the feelings and the things that are going on, being able to express it and stay connected. The poetry that we heard today, was deep and fun and interesting, but there's other poetry that's coming out of this time. Again, safe place to express emotions, and some of that poetry is on our website. So, long way of saying, if you want to see some more poetry, videos, what people are writing about, then go to americascoresbayarea.org, americascoresbayarea.org, and you'll see stories and you'll see poets. So you'll see some more of the featured poets. Encourage people to do that. All right, so I'm going to turn it back over to Yuri Morales, our Chief Program Officer. He's going to take you a little bit deeper, right? Some of the questions that are coming in, how do we measure engagement? How do we measure impact? And we take that very seriously. So Yuri's going to touch on a little bit about that with our theory of action and our commitment to learning and evaluation and to data. right? Somebody was asking, how can I help? I don't know soccer, I don't know poetry. Well, we say boo-hoo on that. We actually, we think you probably do, but we need help in this technology and data area as well. Like, we want to be best in class when it comes to being a data-driven organization and learning and evaluation. So again, Yuri's going to touch on that, and then we'll have a little bit more time, a few more minutes for Q&A. Yuri.
Thanks, Colin. Appreciate it. Hi, everyone. My name is Yuri Morales, and I am Chief Program Officer with America Scores. I've been with the organization since 2008, and I've really enjoyed bringing this organization into where we are today. So we heard a lot about what we're doing, and I just wanted to touch on a couple more things in terms of the summer in our soccer and poetry world. We are doing a summer camp, a virtual summer camp, 3 days a week, including soccer and poetry in live Zoom sessions for 1 hour a day. And we're also going to leverage the Scores U platform that you saw for supplemental online activities, asynchronous activities where it's not live, but they're still, able to stay engaged even on the other days of the week. We're also running some summer programs in partnership with the schools and lead agencies. That's how we deliver our programs mainly, is through deep, close relationships and partnerships, long-standing partners with the school sites themselves and the nonprofit agencies that run comprehensive after-school programs. So we're launching up those partnerships this summer. And as part of my role as Chief Program Officer, I also coordinate our learning and evaluation efforts, and we're really serious about continuous quality improvement. And that's why we've built a partnership with a local organization called Public Profit, and they help mission-driven organizations measure and manage what matters. They're passionate about using research and evaluation methods to improve quality. And as we seek continuous quality improvement, we have a guiding document called our theory of action. And I'm going to show that to you now. I'm going to share my screen here if I can. So our theory of action came together through this relationship that we've built with Public Profit. And really our mission is to inspire and empower youth. So, and in that, we believe that wellness is crucial. Physical, emotional, social wellness, and all these things enable academic success. So as you've seen, coaches use soccer, poetry, and service learning to help youth experience joy, to feel healthy and connected, and to develop self-esteem, confidence, and a positive sense of identity. So this theory of action really helps guide us through kind of our purpose, our mission, and our theory for why it works, who we're trying to reach, what we want to measure, what is a high definition of a high quality program, what direct benefits and outcomes do we believe that our program can achieve, and what are the contributions that our program makes to the development of the whole child. So, some of the key things that we measure are, the demographics through registration forms, parent registration forms. We track attendance and retention of our students. We also know that the coach mentors are so important, and so we track and measure our coach support, and how confident they feel, how prepared they feel, and gather feedback for program improvement. We also measure physical fitness and physical activity levels, as well as doing program observations, kind of in person or just like troubleshooting in collaboration with our staff and our partners to make sure that our programs are high quality and find room for improvement. And we also do youth and parent surveys. So we built our surveys around using this theory of change as a guide to measure and evaluate what we're doing. And we asked questions and try to get feedback and measure our progress in things like safety, opportunities for skill building, supportive relationships, support for efficacy and mattering, opportunities to belong, and positive social norms, and also the integration of family, school, and community events. So we do a lot in terms of program quality and measurement and evaluation. And I also want to show you one thing, how we also try to get direct feedback from youth on how they enjoy the program as part of our ScoresU platform. When they go through these activities, they also can give us feedback about how successful this activity was in terms of helping achieve the desired outcomes. So for example, if it's a poetry lesson about expressing your feelings, we want to know how well we did overall. How did they like that activity, and also gathering direct feedback from our students. So the measurement and evaluation is built in to this to our online platform. The other thing we're trying to do is partner with school districts to get some data to prove that our program is working and see the impact that it's making. And we also think that we have a lot of, I think, using data to improve our program, especially around with the new online programming, is definitely where we have a lot of opportunity and room for growth, tracking and measuring our online participation and engagement. So that is definitely something that we're looking at very seriously. Colin, please jump in if I didn't mention something, but that's kind of an overview of our measurement and evaluation program, and we appreciate you listening.
Again, this is our opportunity just to share with you how we've pivoted, how we've accelerated this pivot into these unprecedented times. Yuri, I think, thank you for sharing that theory of action, right? That really is what grounds us in terms of our inputs, our outcomes, immediate outcomes, our outcomes that we contribute towards over a longer period of time, success in post-secondary school, career, right? These are things that we believe are critical. Early experiences are critical, right, to keep student athletes, poet athletes on this path, right? We don't want to miss a step. We say childhood has no second chances, and we believe it. I'd also add, Yuri, you can elaborate here. I think we are pleased with the front end of our shop, right? The way that we're using technology, social media to engage our students, to keep that connection alive. And there's a big lift going on right now, sort of under the hood, right? There was questions in the chat about data privacy, data governance, right? So, whole new world there with parent permissions, waivers, protecting data. Data ownership, right? So we're fast forward in there. We're really relying on MuleSoft, Salesforce folks to help us solve some of those problems. How do we better track engagement? It's not just attendance anymore. It's not just the student was here, the student wasn't here. We're seeing all sorts of different levels of engagement, right? Asynchronous, offline, etc. And we want that data, right? We want that data to come home as well, so we can really see what's working and what's driving outcomes. So there's a big lift, big sprint, really. Like, we want to get a lot of this right. We want to take our platform, Salesforce platform, and all the integration that goes along with that into the next school year, right? Which is starting like in 2 months, August 15th. So we have some big goals to get the platform ready for when Scores comes back into dock and picks up the whole new school year. So I'm going to, again, just invite any last questions that people have. And while we're doing that, I want to thank Jenny Beck, who's remained quiet behind the scenes there, but she was instrumental in leading this tour and is our Director of Institutional Partnerships with foundations and governments, corporate foundations. So thank you, Jenny. I want to thank Alicia for her role, also tech support, stage management, making sure we all, have our good side showing, and technology working. So thank you to that side of the team as well. And I'll just invite anybody, including Jenny, but any of the staff here for closing remarks. And again, any questions that come up. If we don't get to them today, we can follow up. Actually, and while you're thinking about your comments, I'll give one more. One area that we did not touch on and is critical also to the program is service learning. So we talk right now a lot about soccer and poetry. Those are our core activities, and currently our core activities, again, particularly in these times and the need for self-expression, the need to have a voice. But in regular times, we also have a service learning curriculum, a full season-long service learning curriculum where students will work together using the power of their voices and the power of their teamwork and the help of their coach mentors to do something positive in their own communities. And these are fantastic programs. For years and years, our teams have been talking about racism and bullying and beautification, neighborhood beautification, helping the homeless, collecting food, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we didn't spend much time on it today, but I did want to take the chance to remind people that, it's the third leg of our stool. It's a cycle of giving, right? When we ask people, when you help us, you're helping these kids have access and opportunity, these experiences of joy. They're building skills, but at the end of the day, they're giving back, right? They are also giving back in meaningful ways, taking leadership, and it's really the magic, I think, of the SCORES model.
There's a question in the chat, Colin, and maybe Yuri, this is about how many kids need soccer balls? How many are using opposed to sock balls?
That's a really good question. And sometimes it's a little bit better if you're going to play inside to actually play with a softball sometimes. But I think that at the heart of the question is a willingness to help, right? And I just want to say thank you for that, because there are many ways that you can help our organization reach more kids, continue to do the work that we do. Helping us deliver balls or buy balls for students, that's great. And what I would say is, this was a lot of information that we gave to everybody today. We went pretty fast because we do a lot. We do a lot of different things, as you heard. And if you are interested in learning more about how you can help and get involved, we've got some great folks here who can lead you through it. And but I just want to express gratitude for you thinking of that, because that's exactly what we need right now is folks who are willing to step up and say, hey, what can I do to help? And so, yes, I think I appreciate that question. And I'd say, let's keep talking about it. Let's stay in contact, consider purchasing balls. I can get into the details of the balls and the storage units and whatnot, but I think I'll spare you those details, but definitely there's room to help in lots of different ways.
Yeah, thanks, Yuri. Yeah, and Mark reminds us, for all the muleys out there, Salesforce folks, that Emily and Mark will run Point. There's a great effort happening on the engineering side, on the creative side, marketing, helping with, our website, helping with our annual report. There's volunteer opportunities, again, like Yuri mentioned, particularly when we get back out on the field. So that's all out there. You know, at the end of the day, funding, oxygen, you know, the funding is the oxygen that keeps us rolling. It's mostly about our coaches and those people, you know, who are frontline that you met today. You know, the skills that they need, you know, they need to be ninjas, not only in soccer and poetry and service learning, but they need to have competencies in trauma-informed care, in youth development, in social emotional learning. You know, it's social work in many regards. So there's a lot of skill building, but again, navigating some tough situations is really the skill of the coach mentors. So funding, you know, again, I wouldn't be doing my job if I don't put it out there, whether it's through the company or through individuals or other things. That's what keeps us coming back season after season after season. That's what's going to help us grow. So let's leave it at that, right on time, folks. This is a Scores, you know, commitment to get you in and out on schedule. Thank you so much for participating. We will be in touch. We're easy to reach as need be. And again, thank you for spending this hour with us. I hope you're inspired. I hope we see you somewhere at a field, at a classroom, at a happy hour, at the Salesforce Tower, in New Zealand, in Australia. We're going to come visit you. All right. Thank you again, everybody. I'm just going to keep talking while people sign off. I see little chats going in there. I could bust a poem. I don't know. Actually, I should ask somebody else to bust a poem. Where's Antonio, man? Where's Antonio when you need him?
I'm right here, but I don't know if I'm ready for that yet.
yeah, that's too much on the spot.
It's a lot of pressure.
I hear you. All right, next time, Antonio, next time. Antonio, our Civic Center superstar, running an amazing program for kids in the Tenderloin, the Western Addition. Fantastic program that we play games at City Hall, at the plaza in City Hall, that green area. That's our Scores home field.
We're growing. We're running out of space. We're running into a good problem, which is running out of space. We got a lot more girl teams coming in. Shout out to Coach Amber. Who's actually have been helping with the spread of that. And I think we are at a beautiful time where our program is just catapulting into new heights, and the team made it work.
Awesome. That's inspiring. Yeah, we want 50-50 on the girls, boys here as fast as we can. So, all right. Well, I think everybody is signed out. It's just the Scores staff. So I will say thank you to the Scores staff again for coming together. Teamwork, you guys represent it every day. So really appreciate you all. And we look forward to seeing you soon too.